What's going on, everyone? So, Dwight Howard has made his bid once again about the Lakers center. So, Anthony Davis has talked about how he wants the Lakers to go get a center, right? Like he wants to play more power forward. And I mean, look, he's expressed it. He said, "I've said it every year that I've been here." Right? He's not saying that he won't ever play center, right? He played center even in 2020 season, right? Closed a lot at center for the Lakers, but he doesn't want to play center full time, right? He doesn't want to have to play 40 minutes at the center spot. He'd like somebody that can slot in and kind of fill in that role, fill in that void. Question is, do the Lakers go get a starting center? Do they get a backup center? Like, Dwight is not a center I would start, right? If you were going to bring him in, sure, for his physicality and toughness, can Dwight give you more than what Jemison could give you, right? Jemison, 6'11", 270, right? Dwight's a guy that hasn't played in several years, right? Is he even conditioned and in shape? We know other teams have worked him out in, the last year, and he wasn't good enough in those workouts for teams to bring him in. I mean, even the Warriors, who desperately could use a center, right? Like, have worked him out, and we're like, yeah, we're better without a center, right? Like, Dwight's not in the league for reasons, right? Like, I don't know if Dwight Howard is the answer by any stretch. I don't believe so. I think the Lakers should personally stay away from Dwight Howard. I know he's a fan favorite amongst many Laker fans. I, to this day, still get regular comments from people that are like, just, go trade for this guy, and then just sign Dwight Howard. I don't buy it. I know he wants to be back. He wants to play. He wants to be on the Lakers. I mean, he has said himself numerous times that it's like the ex that you shouldn't be with, but you can't stay away from. And, he's used all kinds of analogies for why he's like obsessed with the Lakers and wanting to be on the Lakers. But also the last stint didn't go great, right? Him and Anthony Davis got in a little scuffle like on the bench, right? Like, is their relationship good now? Sure, it's like one thing to show face, another thing like, or do you want to be teammates? It's always been kind of questions about like how serious does Dwight take things, right? He could be a little bit of a goofball in the locker room and stuff like that, where this team with LeBron and AD and JJ in particular now, is that what's best for this team? If Dwight is like your third big, right? Like, I don't think Dwight Howard is the answer for the starting or primary backup, right? Again, at that point, I'd probably rather just bring in Jemison and, he's younger, gives you the athleticism, gives you, some shot blocking, right? He just needs discipline. He's a development guy, right? Dwight Howard experience, I do think, could go some way. But to me, I like, if you were to bring in Dwight, I want to be clear. One, I don't think it's going to happen. Two, I don't necessarily want it to happen. But just to explore the conversation for a moment, if the Lakers were to bring in Dwight Howard, him as like your third big when all is said and done, as like just an assignment guy for certain matchups, right? Like, you're playing Denver, right? And it's like, hey, Dwight, we're giving you, 7 minutes a game in this series, right? The way things are shaping up, Lakers might play Denver in the first round again, right? But like, to me, it's like, okay, Dwight, you're going to play 7 minutes this game. Your job is just to wear down Jokic as much as possible. Your job is to just, beat on him, give us some good hard playoff fouls, maybe pick up a tech or two, right? Don't worry about it. You play, let him be kind of the enforcer, right? Let him kind of just be that physical presence where he's just in there, whatever he's giving you production-wise is, a bonus, but it's more so of just like, again, you just have kind of that bully in there, right? Give you some toughness on the interior. Give you a guy that is not afraid to bang with the big boys. Right? Give you a guy that, can be physical and an interior presence, right? Like, Dwight Howard, I think, could potentially suffice that role. Again, I kind of lean towards Jemison more, personally, just because, again, I think he gives you the size and physicality, and, I mean, that guy's mountain, man. Like, every time we see him play, teams are trying to like move him out the way, and they just can't move him, right? So I like the idea of sticking with like a Jemison as like, if you wanted that big physical enforcer, where it's like Jemison, same thing, big hard fouls, right? But Dwight also, again, it's more of like the experience, it's the understanding, it's like, he's a guy that loves to get techs. He's a guy that loves to be physical, gave Jokic problems. Now, you also got to keep in mind, Jokic 5 years ago is not the same Jokic he is today. Right? Jokic today is another specimen. I mean, that dude is ridiculous. That dude just had like a 20, 30, 20, and 15 games, something like that, something crazy like that. Like, dude, the guy is insane. And, yeah, so I, like, the idea that, like, oh, Dwight was able to stop, Dwight is almost 40 for what it do, right? Like, you're talking about a Jokic that is just a completely different level, a completely different tier, right? Jokic wasn't the best player unanimously in the league 5 years ago. He's clearly that now, right? I mean, he's head and shoulders above everyone else. So it's like, you look at a guy like Dwight, he's not going to have the impact on Jokic that he had 5 years ago, right? One, again, Dwight hasn't played in years. Two, what is his conditioning? What is his, how is his stamina? How are those things? Now, granted, you could argue you're not looking to play him 25 to 30 minutes a game, or you shouldn't be, right? You're looking to just kind of, again, have him be an assignment guy. Right? Have him just be a guy that's physical in spots. I still think you have to go trade for a center, right? Like, if Lakers trade for, say, a Walker Kessler or Nikola Vucevic or something like that, and then, you look to, let's say you traded Hayes and Wood throughout the process, and you're like, hey, we'd like to give Koloko and Jemison a year to develop, in the G League. Let them stay in the G League and develop a little bit. And you wanted to bring in Dwight, sure, I guess. Again, probably still not my favorite, but if the Lakers did it, like, I wouldn't be like, oh, like, I can't believe, like, it's so silly. Like, I'd be like, all right, whatever, right? Like, my thing is, like, I don't think Dwight is a needle mover, right? Like, I think Dwight can be a guy that can just be that enforcer, right? Be the goon in there and just, like, smacking heads and stuff, right? Like, be one of the Bash brothers. But, you look at kind of like what the Lakers need, they still need to trade for a center, right? Dwight isn't the answer at that, or even in a primary backup role, right? Like, Anthony Davis, he wants a center so he doesn't have to play 40 minutes at center. So you need a center that can slot in and play and give you probably 20 minutes plus, 25 minutes plus at the center position. I don't believe Dwight Howard is a guy that's capable of doing that. He wasn't even necessarily doing that back in 2020, right? Like, they were splitting time between him and McGee. So, and then Anthony Davis still played minutes at the center position, right? So it's like now 5 years later for a guy that hasn't played in, 2 years, you really expecting him to come in and solve and be the answer and cure all to all your center issues? I don't buy that. I don't, right? I think the, little squabble and all the little, noise and stuff from the last stint, I think, it's been long enough. I think they just want to win. I don't think it'd be a big deal, right? But I do think, the style and level of play, right? What we would need from Dwight, can he provide that? I just don't buy him to do that. And like I said, I think if you're bringing him in as just a physical presence that can slot in and just, bang with the big boys, as I mentioned, and, kind of just leave it at that, right? But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, and I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you agree with me? Disagree with me? Do you think, no, you have to go get Dwight Howard? Do you think, nah, stay away from Dwight Howard? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it either way, so let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. It's me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.